Welcome back. In this video I'll get a start on another new project. I wouldn't normally do something like this. I hummed and ahed about putting this online, but this is a 1967 Suzuki U70 and there's a lot of sentimental value in this bike. So this has been in our family since it was purchased way back in the day, brand new. So I thought I'd take on the challenge and try to bring it back to its former glory. So you can see here, it's been in our family for so long. It's been had a bit of a hard life. It's been not run for probably 20 years plus. So I thought I'd pull it down and give it a real birthday. So I started just taking the front end off, and you know, I just want to keep this original. There will be no mods whatsoever. Somewhere I've got the original number plate as well, so I'm planning to put that on there when I finish the bike. So just pulling these spokes off, you know, it's quite corroded, so what I'm planning to do is I'm going to replace these spokes, clean up the hubs and the rims, and then just put it back together. So I don't want this to be absolutely perfect, but I just want it to be a nice clean bike. So I haven't respoked a wheel before, but I figure give it a go, it can't be that hard. So just remove everything and then give it a good clean up. The bearings and the brake pads are still actually pretty good, so I'm just going to leave those as they are. And you can see it there. Now with the front wheel off, the next thing I do is I actually strip this right down. So pull the engine out, pull the frame apart, pull the wiring out. You can see the rear hub there and the drive. The rubber's all perished and the tyres, and here's the motor. Has seen better days as well. So the motor hasn't been running for a very long time now. I pulled it down and there's two teeth broken, so I think we've given it a bit of a workout over the years and we managed to break those teeth somehow. Who knows how that happened. So I use silicon bronze, TIG it on, two more teeth, get in the lathe, bit of machining, bit of filing, and that is as good as new. At this point I've fixed that gear up, I bought some new seals. The bearings and the piston actually look pretty good. Bought a gasket set, and I'm just going to start putting this back together now. So I've reassembled the transmission. Here's the casing all cleaned up. I've given it a quick coat of paint, and I'll just push in some new oil seals, put the transmission together, and just start reassembling this engine. So I test that welded gear and it rotates pretty smooth, so I'm happy with that. Everything else in there is pretty clean. Just assembling the transmission here, and then put those seals in. I put some sealant around the casing, because there's no gasket obviously in between the casing, so put some high temperature sealant. You only need a thin coat, and then I tap it on, lock it all down, and check that it rotates, and it actually goes together pretty well. So finding parts for this bike's been quite a challenge, and you know, it is quite old. I don't think it was that popular a bike, so yeah, a bit of a struggle to find bits. So just tension all this up. It locks down nice. Still check that it rotates freely, and you know, this is the core part of the engine pretty much done now. There's a bit of cosmetic stuff I'll need to do, is tidy up a couple of the covers, maybe do a little bit of polishing on it, but I want to keep it pretty standard looking when it's done. The sprockets were all worn, so I found a genuine sprocket, so put a new sprocket on there. The rear sprocket's also worn. I need to find one of those somewhere. So just put the locking tab on there. New gaskets for the barrel and head gasket. The piston was replaced some time ago. It still looked pretty good, and the bores are all good, so I didn't change any of the rings or hone. New head gasket, bolt the head on, and yep, starting to take shape. The electrics in this, I don't know. I haven't run this engine, so it's a bit of an unknown. But I'm just having a quick look at everything, and this is the oil pump system. It actually looked okay. Like I say, I haven't run it. I don't actually know if there's any problem, but I've cleaned it all up. All the piping looks pretty good. I put it all back together, and it goes back together well. And until I run it, I'm not really going to know what other problems I've got. So you can see here all new seals. Everything's checked over, and just putting the alternator back on, and it goes back together no problem really. Now, getting onto the rims, so I decide what I do is I'm just going to wire brush the hubs and just clean them up, and then I'm going to put a bit of clear coat. So I'll clean them up here. I'll do the front and the rear, and just give them a nice clean. I don't want to polish these because I do want to keep that original look, as I was saying before. So once I clean them, I'll mix up some 2-pack clear, quick coat of paint, and it gives it a really nice finish. I'm actually quite happy with that. So I painted, as I said, the front hub, rear hub, and I just clean up the rims. I didn't clear coat those at all, and I bought a new set of spokes. So from here, what I do is start respoking the rims. As I said, this is the first time for me. I had some photos of the old one just to make sure I knew the layout, and it wasn't actually too hard. So I put all these together, just get them all in the right spot, get them all finger tight, and once I've painted the frame a bit later, I will tension them up properly and get the offset exactly where I need it. So this is the front rim, and the spokes that I bought aftermarket, they're actually quite good quality. They're a little bit heavier duty than the originals, which is good. And yeah, it all went together pretty well, so quite happy with that. So there it is there. There's the front, there's the rear, and making good progress. So in the next video, I will tidy up the frame and finish the painting. Stay tuned.